843 TV, where the Lowcountry comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. We are excited to be at the beautiful Coastal Discovery Museum, and we're going to be talking with Elizabeth Greenberg. She's the Director of Exhibitions, and there's going to be so much to share and to learn. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Well, obviously things here are always changing. New exhibition that we're going to talk about today. Let's have you share that with us.
Okay, so this show just opened on March 4th. It's called Binya, Faces of the Gullah Geechee. And so this is all portraiture of Gullah Geechee people across the corridor, not just from Hilton Head. And it's a historic show, so our earliest pieces in here are from the 1920s. Actually, that's not true. There is a piece also from the late 1800s up through, we commissioned a few pieces, so some contemporary pieces.
Well, most of us that live here understand and know the importance and impact of the Gullah culture, but for those who don't, let's talk about that and what inspired this exhibit.
So this culture, they've been here, you know, the rest of us have come.
We have come.
And we're Kumyas, right?
Yes.
But they're Binyas.
Yes.
So they've been here, especially, we know on Hilton Head Island, where they call themselves Native Islanders, but on all the Sea Islands and also the coastal communities up and down from North Carolina to North Florida. So it's a unique culture where they've been able to maintain a lot of their sort of traditional values and you know, foodways and things like that, family connections. And so the portrait show came about, it started because we have a couple pieces in our collection that are like some of our best pieces. So behind me there's John Holmes, that's a Walter Greer painting from the 60s called Noon on Broad Creek. It was a very well-known painting. It was owned by Charles Fraser and hung in the William Hilton Inn. And so we've owned that for a number of years, and we have a couple other pieces. And then we had an artist come to us, Curtis Phillips, and you can see Joe Legree is next to John Holmes. Joe Legree was a very important cast net maker on St. Helena, and so Curtis came to us a couple years ago and said, would you like to purchase this painting? We do not normally acquire pieces, or had not at that point, but this was a wonderful painting, really looks like Joe Legree, and so we made the effort to do that. In the process of that, Curtis also painted Alex Brown, who's behind me over here.
Everyone might recognize Alex,
People should
yes.
know. Alex did a favor for the museum and sat for a portrait that Curtis then included in this sale to us. All of a sudden, we had a few portraits here where we thought, can we make a show? We knew of some pieces in other collections. And then I approached Angela Dorr, who's a wonderful young curator. She works at the Penn Center through the University of Georgia, and she had done a show here on her own a couple years ago, right when I started here. And so I had thought that was a wonderful show. I went to her and talked to her about this. She was all in. And so together it's been a wonderful conversation between the two of us, because she is a Binya and I am a Kumya. You know, I'm an outsider looking in, and she comes from the culture. And she's younger, so she's a younger generation. So we've had a lot of conversations about the generations, about differences in generations, about how young people feel about their Gullah Geechee heritage. Obviously, it's not monolithic. People are different, and so different people feel different things. But we made a special effort to have both older generations and younger generations. So for instance, Angela had a piece commissioned of her daughter, who's 5, which is in the back of the gallery, which is a wonderful piece by a young artist in Savannah. So, and then on top of that, which was really exciting for us, is we took the opportunity for this to commission a few pieces for the museum collection, because while we're not acquiring much work before, this has helped to push us along where we're going to attempt to acquire work when we can for the museum collection for the next stage of our development. So we commissioned a wonderful young artist, Anthony Johnson, to do Louise Cohen, and then Natalie Days, who's fantastic, she's up in Georgetown, to do Emery Campbell. So we now have these 2 new pieces for our collection, which is really exciting, and the work turned out amazing.
Remind people how long it's here.
It's here through July 9th, so it's a nice long run, and it will be up through the busiest weekend of the year here on Hilton Head. We have a few curators tours, so Angela and I will be doing a tour next Tuesday on the 21st at 1 p.m., and then later in May on a Saturday for people who work at 1 p.m. All of that information is on our website. We're also having a collage night. The artist who Angela commissioned to do her daughter is a collage artist. She's going to come here in April 27th, I believe, at 5:30 p.m. and you can come and do collage work with her, so it's a great art night. And then we're working on a few other public programs too.
Well, I know you have a lot of information to share. We're going to take a break, and you all stay right here. We'll be back from the Coastal Discovery Museum.